Hi guys, this is Dominic, Jason and Joe here from the Fitter Ireland project, and we're going to do 5 minutes on coffee. So we're going to start off on why or should we take coffee. So Joe, do you want to get the ball rolling? Do you drink coffee on a regular basis?
I self-confessed coffee addict. I really do like coffee. It's one of my favourite things to drink, but again, you've got to be very conservative in what way you drink it. Most of the time, my consumption will consist of a cup in the morning and a cup pre-workout.
Very good.
You know, that'll be sort of the gist of it. Now, there is times where you're obviously going to want to have more, but I've sort of tried to put a cap on at 2 cups a day.
Sort of. That sounds a bit dodgy there.
Well, there might be the one day in every 14 where you might have 3, but
3.
You know, 2 is usually the limit. You know,
I'd probably be in around the same, but I suppose I only start drinking coffee when we start working here. You know, before that I'd never had a coffee.
Yeah.
And it's only, I suppose, when you're with people that drink a lot of coffee.
It's a social thing.
It's a social thing, and I suppose this is probably where some people can make a mistake in work. If everybody's going to have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee together, and they're doing that 2 or 3 times a day, maybe even 4 or 5 times a day, and you're getting caught up in that, then it's, I think there can be a negative impact on us.
And then also the quality of the coffee.
Yeah.
You know, if you're having like 4 or 5 cups a day and it's not of a great quality, it's also going to be, you know, you obviously get the caffeine effect, but then it's not good quality beans, it's better shit that's going on as well, you know.
Yeah, and that's the big thing to kind of remember there, that if you are going to drink coffee, it's important to stick with organic beans, try and grind them yourself, and then either do a French press or some sort of machine that you're popping them into. There's a number of Irish companies that do organic beans, or if you can go and check out like Bulletproof Executive, they have some bases here in Ireland and in the UK where you can buy the organic beans from. Otherwise, generally what you're going to have is those coffee beans are notorious for being overly sprayed and are very prone to fungal yeast growth and stuff like that. So it's important for people to remember that. I would take maybe 1 a day. So that's it, yeah. I just find them very, very caffeine sensitive. So if I have more than 1, I just find it really hard to sleep. But then I'll do a lot of green tea then after that throughout the day, and I can still function.
That's something I've tried to do as well. I'm trying to, because obviously coffee is very acidic, guys, as well, and you want to keep your body of a certain alkalinity. So what I've tried to do is, if I do have 2 cups of coffee, I've tried to balance it out with 2 cups of chamomile tea in the evening time or so on and so forth. And again, it's going to help you sort of de-stress to a certain extent and relax better in the evening before.
Calm your nervous system down.
Exactly.
I think it's also important for people to just keep a note of what they're putting in their coffee. So if somebody's putting sugar in the coffee, or 2 sugars or 3 sugars, that's adding up hugely over the course of the day, even in terms of calories. And I think for people who are looking, you know, for body composition change, if you're drinking a lot of coffee throughout the day, it's probably going to reduce your appetite a little bit. And that might be the best thing going forward for performance and things like that.
So what's the best way to have a coffee?
I think just grind your own beans, get organic beans, grind it, French press or in a machine, and then if you're doing the bulletproof thing, which is basically butter and coconut oil, like non-salt butter, coconut oil, put some of that in. I just put it straight into a cup, put it underneath my gadget, and then the coffee goes straight in on top, so it makes up like a double espresso. Knock it back. Otherwise, if you're doing the French press, pour it in, blend it up if you feel like you need to, or whiz it up like some people I know use a handheld little mixer, and then you're kind of good to go. I think the problem where people can come across with coffee is that when it becomes this thing that they have to have. So if you feel like you have to have a certain number of cups every day, then it's probably time to kind of to back off. So I think that's probably the best way.
And as well with coffee, you'll find that coffee is a lot of people's actual hobby. They're into coffee. They're into like coffees ground, different types of coffees from all over the world. And again, even if it is your hobby, it's one of them things that leave it as your hobby, but still don't go mad with your consumption. Even though it's your hobby. You know what I mean? Because you've always got to watch your consumption, because it is going to lead to bad sleeping patterns, obviously. The jitters,
cortisol levels.
Cortisol levels more so than anything as well. Like it's
so there's pros and cons. Like if you look at the pros, like multiple studies have shown that prior to exercise, caffeine consumption can help improve performance. That's been shown over and over again. It's why it's on the ban list of substances in certain sports. But again, like you said, is when people get into trouble is they're like drinking coffee and then they're doing pre-workout drinks that have caffeine in it as well, another coffee, and they're not realizing how much caffeine they're taking in on a day-to-day basis, and then wondering why they need to take stuff to get them to sleep every night. So I think people should look at the quality of the beans and then just make sure that it's only one part of what they do in terms of like their consumption of caffeine in a day. So I think 1 or 2 a day most people.
I think 2 a day. Yeah. If as long as you can keep it at that, cap it at that, it's not the worst in the world. Yeah.
No lattes.
That's it. Yeah, well, like we're talking black coffee here with a little bit of coconut or butter, or even if you're looking for some extra calories and healthy fats, some double cream or something like that. Small.
There you go. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.